today's episode of the Jamaican cooking journey, I will be sharing with you how to make some cupcakes. But before we go into that video, I just want to pause here to say special thanks to my patrons that have been making my page possible. If you would like to be a part of my Patreon family, click on the link in the description. Thanks to the new people coming on to the Jamaican cooking journey page. Those of you who were there with me from the beginning and you're still here, I just want to say manners and respect. Vanilla cupcakes for Mother's Day, and we're going to finish these with a nice buttercream frosting. So right on over here, I'll be introducing you to my ingredients. I've got 2 medium eggs, fresh, and when you say fresh, you mean that when your eggs are broken, the yolk stays in place, okay? I've got here 1 cup of vegetable oil, 1 cup of sugar, granulated sugar white. I have half of a cup of milk, and to this half of a cup, I'm going to put in 3/4 of a tablespoon of white vinegar. We want to get some buttermilk. I have got here my raising agent. I have got here half of a teaspoon of salt, or 3/4. I think it was 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 1.5 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. These are my raising agents. In here I have got 2.25 cup of cake and pastry flour. Cake and pastry flour, this is what I'm using in Jamaica. It's not sponsored by JF Mills, but they can probably reach out to me. It says cake and pastry flour. It is pre-sifted. So when it says cake and pastry flour, you don't have to sift it. So I'm just gonna get my dry ingredients all together. And this is what it looks like. In baking, sugar is considered wet because when it is dissolved, it's wet. Some people may put their sugar in here. I never do. So I am just mixing my cake, my dry ingredients with my, mixing up everything together. And this is what it looks like. Nice, pretty color flour. I have here a 12 cup muffin or cupcake tin, what you want to call it. Some people say muffin, some people say cupcake tin, some people whatever. But I think muffins are a little bit bigger. I normally make muffins a little bigger, but you can call it muffin tin, but I would say cupcake tin. I'm using a dozen. This recipe would give you a dozen. Sometimes it gives you a little more than a dozen, depending on how you measure out your stuff. I have here, let me say, vanilla. Vanilla, of course, a vanilla cupcake. So you want some strong vanilla flavoring in it. And this is my little thing, my little rum. I'll be putting a teaspoon or 3/4 teaspoon of rum. That is just me, family, okay? So I am going to be getting now my wet ingredients together. Vanilla cupcake. So I'm going to be putting a pretty good 1 tablespoon of vanilla in there, and maybe a little, because some of these vanilla nowadays, the strength where we are looking for them, out of them, actually they're not there anymore. I'm gonna put a teaspoon of my white Jamaican overproof rum. It is not compulsory, and I repeat, it is not compulsory. This is just me, okay? For me, that takes care of the egg, the licorice from the egg. And remember, I told you, and I keep saying, it's not compulsory. I'm going to be going now. Once my thing, you see the milk is getting thick. Yeah, so the vinegar is working. It's activating that milk to the buttermilk stage when me want it. So I'm going to be mixing this around. You don't have to use any mixer, but if you have a little handheld and you want to use the KitchenAid, you can do it. This is just my recipe, and I'm going to be putting in some of the sugar, and I'm going to be whisking it out. A little elbow grease in me, I do right here, so I'm going to be putting it like this, and I'm going to be whisking it in real good. My sugar granules are not fully dissolved, so I'm going to be putting in my vegetable oil, and I'll be putting it in batches. As I go, I just mix it in. I want to get the mixture all smooth and nice, especially the sugar granules being thoroughly mixed through, because when you're doing these cupcakes or any cake and you don't have the sugar granules properly dissolved, when they are baked, they have this little, you know, them little, I don't know how to, but it has this little, like when the sugar goes in the oven and the heat takes it, it just comes with a little kind of caramelized thing on it. So I like to make sure, and since I'm not using my electric mixer, I am using my hand because it's easy. It can be easily done by hand. Putting in some more. So this will, I think this is the most little time consuming part when you're adding the oil. So I'm gonna do that and return. So properly mixed in, you see this? The oil, the sugar, the eggs, and the vanilla, all of those, it's properly mixed in. You see, the oil especially is properly mixed in. Look at that. You don't want to see these, the oil being separated and on the top. So you mix it in. You see that nice creamy? Yeah, you see that? Yeah, this is what we want. Okay, to this I'm gonna add like a 1/4 cup of water. This is a 1/2 cup, so I'll add just a 1/4. And in case I need the next 1/4 cup, I will just mix it in. Now we're gonna start whisking in our wet into our dry, and we also will be trapping some air, because you know say cupcake are sitting with a light, not true? So I'm gonna start mixing it around. I'm gonna be using the clockwise motion. So here we are with all those, the oil, that wet mix. You see how it looks? You see how creamy it looks? But for me, it wants to be a little more loose. Here we go with our 1/2 cup of buttermilk right in there. You see that? So you want to be gentle now, you know, because it will, you know, like splash out. Look at this. So you want to be mixing around with all this here trapped in there with the whisk. Okay? It's not fully mixed in as yet. But look at this. You see this? This is what we want. Now, at some point, if you had used all-purpose flour, because you could use all-purpose flour too, there would be not all the time, depending on the flour, because some cake flour, they are different from others. Some all-purpose flour, as you go along in baking, or if you have a lot of experience, or just, you know, any experience at all in baking, you have known that each flour type, even though it write cake flour and pastry, even though it write all-purpose, they have different texture. Okay, so if at some point you would need, at this point, we would not need the extra 1/4 cup of water, because we have added our buttermilk, and this is what we have. This is my vanilla cupcake recipe. It works every time for me. Okay, I have here my cupcake with my cupcake liners in there. This is my little cupcake dispatching thing that I have invested in. Maybe I'll need bigger ones and so, but if you would like to get these also, you can check on my Amazon storefront. They're there. Maybe you might want this, or the stainless steel, it is there. I'm gonna get some in here now, and in the next clip you'll see me dispatching it. My oven has already been preheated. It was preheated at 350. Next clip. To my little cupcake dispatcher, and this here. Okay, so this thing measures 4 cups. So sometimes you will get 4 cups depending on if I added the 1/4 cup of water to the mixture, depending on the flour type. So I think I've gotten about 3 3/4 cups here of mixture. So I'm gonna dispatch it now into my cupcakes. Don't judge me. I am still working on my accuracy of using this thing. I always have them not accurate. But as you go, you will grow. So you pull back right here. Yeah, so whoops. Okay, Takes a little time, but it's more accurate to me. Okay. Into the oven we go at 350 for about 15 to 18 minutes. Make sure your oven rack is in the middle. Right here. So maybe at about the half-hour interval, you want to come around and spin around your cupcakes. Now, when you see me next, they will be ready, and I will be somewhat, maybe not in depth, showing you how I prepare my vanilla buttercream frosting. So our cupcakes are out of the oven, family. I've left them in the cupcake tin on a wire rack for here to pass right under, so as them not to get, so you can look and see that they're okay. They come right out. They're always like that. This little one come and get over, but when we're frosting it, we just have to do a little trimming. But everybody else is okay, as you see, relatively looking nice. So we're gonna leave them to cool. In the next clip, you'll see me putting together my personal little buttercream frosting, vanilla buttercream frosting, and we're gonna be doing a little extra decoration. I'll catch you in the next clip. So okay, now family, our cupcakes are all cooled, properly cooled right there. We are going to be putting together our vanilla buttercream frosting. However, this is not going to be a step-by-step tutorial part. It's going to be in depth as that. Okay, my shortening in here, and I have got my butter. My butter is at room temperature, and I have got my powdered sugar. Hence, I'm going to be preparing that right about now. So this is my shortening and my butter. You want to whip it till it have this look. See it? It's not falling off or anything. Alright, now I'm going to be adding icing sugar, my confectioner's sugar. And I'm having the perfect weather for this. If it was hot, I'd have to turn on the AC. So I'm literally having the perfect weather. I'm going to be putting it in there in like parts. So I need to put this guard on, because the sugar is like, the icing sugar, confectioner sugar, it's really like messy. This is my buttercream frosting, and I'm gonna be cleaning this off. And I have my M1 open star tip fitted in this disposable bag. If I use like reusable bag, I would fit it with the coupler. But most times when I use disposable, I use a coupler. So I'm gonna get through now and fit this now with my buttercream frosting, and then I'm gonna be coming next to show you one or two how my pipe it on. All right. So do it like this. I'm trying to get the hair out of it, ear pocket. So, and this makes such a nice pattern, so you can just go as how you want to go with it. So this is just one. Wow, too close up to the camera. And I think you have seen me done this already. So I'm gonna continue with all of them, and I will be pepping it up a little, so I'll show you that in the next clip. So guys, this is my finished vanilla cupcake with my vanilla buttercream frosting, and we just use some regular little vanilla cookies to top it off. This is just my little thing. You can take it and make it your own. Thanks for loving, thanks for supporting, and remember to make sure that you're liking the videos. Remember to make sure that you leave me a comment below. Remember to make sure that you watch the videos entirely to the end or near to the end. Remember to watch the ads, guys, because that is how we get a little thing to buy stuff to make other contents. Thanks for loving, thanks for supporting. Remember to check out the Amazon storefront. All these little gadgets you see me using, you can find them right there. I'll catch you again with another video or another live coming up to Mother's Day. Thanks for watching.